This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, hello and welcome to the all-new Rated R Safety Show. Yeah. We are streaming live on safetyfm.com and also on safetyfm.live. And if you're watching us on the different streaming platforms, well, we're there too. And of course, you know which ones those are, especially if you're listening to us on that platform. And of course, as we talk about all the time, we are also streaming and then doing the podcast thing. So you might be listening to us right now and we are coming to you live, or you could be on the podcast and then we're pre-recorded.
Duh.
So it all depends on how you want to look at it. Anyways, today is Wednesday, March the 4th of 2020. It's day 64 of the year. Only 302 days remaining before it's all over with. Also, if you follow along on our podcast, you know today is launch day for the Safety Justice League podcast that is taking place today at 12:30 Eastern Time. And we'll be coming to you live on safetyfm.com on that one. And, of course, some of the podcast catchers will have it available at that same time, too. So if you are a listener of podcasts, you are probably going to enjoy this one.
Duh.
Because this particular podcast is a group podcast given to you from a different point of view. But besides that going on, I also want to share some other information. We have some things that are going to change here on the Rated R Safety Show and also on our Safety FM network. And I want to tell you that, yes, today we are coming to you a little bit earlier than normal. Normally we come to you about noontime, give or take. So today we are coming early because of the 12:30 timeline that I was just telling you about. And then also we have a new show that will be starting off Monday on the radio station. So if you're already listening to it on the podcatcher, you're going to be amazed it is coming to the radio station as well.
The nerd has been waiting in the wings, waiting for the opportune time.
The Hop Nerd arrives Monday, March the 9th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Monday through Friday on safetyfm.com. That's The Hop Nerd with Sam Goodman
On safetyfm.com and safetyfm.live, 3 to 4 daily on Safety FM.
So if you are a listener of The Hop Nerd with Sam Goodman, it will start coming to you on safetyfm.com starting at 3 o'clock on Monday. So that gives you the opportunity of doing so. And I will tell you, I'm probably going to be letting the cat out of the bag a little bit here. But I was having a conversation or an interaction yesterday with good old Mr. Goodman. And there is a possibility that we might get some kind of a live show where you might have the opportunity of calling in and having a discussion with Sam directly. So that's always available there. Anyway, so a couple different things here. People always are asking me about these little different camera angles that I have here. So the camera angles are, I know, slightly different. I hate this one right here. Hold on, this one's going to pop up. I don't like that camera angle, but hey, whatever. And then this one's so-so, whatever. It is what it is. So if you are on the podcast, well, you can't definitely listen. Or if you're on the radio station, you have no clue what I'm talking about. So one's a side angle, one's a front angle. I hate the front angle one. But hey, that's just me. Anyways, let's continue. So we're going to get you started with the news right now on the Rated R Safety Show.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show. Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM. Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
So anyways, let's start off with the top. And I have to tell you, starting off, it is not the best of news. So let me tell you what's going on. At least 25 confirmed dead in Tennessee following the series of dangerous storms that brought tornadoes that ripped through the state on Tuesday morning. More than 140 buildings were destroyed. In some instances, the storms formed so quickly the victims had no real opportunity to flee. So if you are in the U.S. and you are familiar with the area, that was in Tennessee that did occur. It's terrible news to hear, especially what's going on there. And that's 25 confirmed as of today, Wednesday. Now, we're not sure if there's more, what has actually occurred, but that is the information that I was able to find. And I know that that's not where we normally want to start, and we normally try to have some different conversations. But we need to always be talking about some of these different things that are possible, especially with the different changes of the weather going on. But apparently these were just so quick that some people were not aware of what was going on. So hearts and prayers with them, thoughts and prayers, not hearts and prayers, but just something different there. Not really much more I can say there. Let's continue. After its biggest single day gain ever, the Dow lost 785 points on trading on Tuesday. Unease over the coronavirus and general uncertainty about the country's future contributed to the volatility, despite the Fed cutting interest by 0.5 point. So, as you can see, the stock market is still going crazy. I keep on seeing some stuff going out there with the coronavirus. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I mean, as you can see, it is a pandemic, is what they keep on talking about. Now, I was having a conversation yesterday, and when the swine flu came about, I don't remember how crazy it was on the news. I don't remember if there was some kinds of craziness of everybody going back and forth and saying, oh my God, it's the end of the planet. But hey, I don't know. What do you know? Can you share that with me? Because I have no clue. And I know that the swine flu wasn't that long ago, but maybe that's something that we need to kind of pull up that information and take a look at what's similar to what was going on then.
Duh.
Anyways, just something to think about, of course. Anyways, let's continue. Can't find Purell on your store shelves? Just mix about 80% or 60%, better saying, of alcohol with aloe vera gel. And that's kind of close to what it is. Now, I will tell you, if you go on to Amazon, if you are an Amazon purchaser and you love to go to Amazon to get your stuff, I'm going to tell you that Amazon currently, yes, Amazon, if they're fulfilling it, it's currently sold out of all Purell hand sanitizer. And if you're able to find it on Amazon, it's normally by a third-party vendor, and they're selling somewhere close to about $130, or excuse me, $100 a bottle.
Duh.
And that's about the 6-ounce bottle, if I remember correctly from what I was saying. So that's absolutely crazy. I know it's something that we have to start talking about and going, well, what the hell's about to happen here? Because it's just quite crazy on how these things are occurring. But man, what do I know? And the other craziness that I keep on seeing is all these different things that are going on out there with what people are doing and having these conversations about of what needs to be done next. Now, I don't know what's going to happen next. That is the conversation that we need to start having. It's pretty weird on all the stuff that people are already starting to talk about of what they're doing. And anyways, does anybody have valid numbers on what's going on in China? Because that's something else that we need to have the conversation about. What are the numbers at right now with that one? Anyways, authorities are trying to determine the cause of a blackout that hit Los Angeles on Tuesday. 3 terminals, at least in Los Angeles International Airport, were without power for about half an hour, as well as 26,000 households and Super Tuesday voting polling locations. So let's start it off. So as you are aware, if you are in the U.S., yesterday was a big Democratic primary day. I think 14 states in total were holding their elections. And, of course, with this one having power, there's already the conspiracy online referencing that this was done intentionally because of the potential candidate that was going to win. Now, I'm just telling you what I read. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. But people are already saying that the fix is in. So I don't know. What do you think?
Rated R Safety Show.
Sarcastic? Never.
So it's just different things for different people. I mean, not everyone's going to be accurate on what's going on there. But politics is politics. I normally try to avoid it. It's a lot easier of a conversation if we don't talk about it. It's a lot easier of a conversation if I just tell you what's going on, because conspiracy theories are always made up by different things, some validity of truth and some bullshit tied into it, as you already are aware.
Duh.
Anyways, a study out of Sheffield, United Kingdom shows that just how helpless millennials are taking care of themselves. Oh, yeah, you heard me correctly there. 1/4 said that they'd rather pay someone to maintain projects than do the work themselves, meaning that the average millennial spends about $409.76 a year on household repairs. 1/3 said that they would hire a handyman who has a cheap looking website because, pricing would be in a good structure there. One horrifying outlier is that the study had respondents reporting that he or she left the light bulb burned out for 3 weeks before mustering the courage to ask an adult on how to change it. 13 admitted that their home improvement skills are poor. Now, of course, this is a study of what they are seeing there in the United Kingdom. Now, I have to tell you, I'm not a millennial myself, and that's okay. But I think that the millennials get some bad raps in regards of what people say about them. Now, this is my opinion, and I really do think that you came here because you wanted my opinion.
Duh.
But I look at it also at the same time, too, and I go, why do they get such a bad rap? Now, if you are making enough money where you can turn around and say, hey, I'm going to pay someone to come and do something, that's your choice. I mean, shouldn't you have a choice? It is your money. I'm not saying one way is correct and one way is not, but isn't that something you should think about? I just really think they get a bad rap. But hey, I'm just a guy behind a microphone who's having this conversation with you here today on the Rated R Safety Show. And that's the way that goes. So let's continue. Anyways, if you've noticed, New York City is cracking down on payphones. Oh, yeah, you heard me correctly. The city council has approved the removal of 30 payphones beginning in Hell's Kitchen. The councilman for the area said that the small real estate occupied will free up room for pedestrians to get around. So let's start off with that. Did you even know what a payphone was? Have you seen a payphone? I mean, I didn't even know those things existed. I think I had been to Disney and I had seen one or two. But man, I didn't even know that people like other places had them. I just thought that there was something that was just kind of out and about. Not that people still use them. And payphones? I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he was referencing that he got a phone book dropped off at his house. A phone book. Who uses a phone book? This is like the second conversation that I've had in less than a week about a phone book. I was in North Dakota last week, and a lady showed me a picture of her father using a phone book. Now, it is much thinner and much smaller than what I remember when I was a kid.
Duh.
But a phone book. I think we really need to show some people how to use Google. A little bit of the Googly. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just really confused. I just get so confused on what people are thinking.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So, just think about that for a second. Anyways, more than 1,000 red-winged blackbirds, brown-headed cowbirds, crackles, and European starling were found dead in fields and neighborhoods in Missouri. In a Missouri town on Monday, officials have no idea why. The first reports of the dead birds came in late Sunday night around the time above a major thunderstorm had hit, which may have contributed to the sudden slaughter. So, I don't know. I just keep on thinking about it and I go, what is going on? Now, I will tell you that yesterday, I was having a conversation with someone, and they referenced, now I don't know if there's a lot of people that are Bible readers on here, but we're referencing that all the stuff that's going on right now is referencing Revelations, and that we should have seen this coming. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Are you a Revelations reader? The last book in the Bible. What do you think? Do you think there's some validity to what some people are saying out there? Just a thought. I'm just bringing it up because it was a conversation that I had yesterday. Don't say anything towards me. You know, these are conversations that people have. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things going on out there. Nothing better than when one of your systems is requiring or requesting an update at the time that you're using it when you're doing a little show like this one, huh?
Duh.
Anyways, let's continue. A constitutional amendment in Russia would codify marriage as a union between a man and a woman. Vladimir Putin suggested that the change should occur as of January of this year. The parliament is expected to give the change, among other approvals, later this month, sending the change to a nationwide vote in April. So, that could probably raise a whole bunch of other conversations right away.
Duh.
What do you believe that marriage should consist of? Should it be between a man and a woman? Or can it be anything? And I know that's probably normally not a subject that we would cover here. It's not really a safety-related subject. But it's something to think about. Why is it that certain countries still don't agree with same-sex marriage? What is your opinion of it? What do you think? You can leave a little message in the chat box if you want. I know some people don't want to put their names associated with certain things, and that's perfectly fine as well. But what are your thoughts? Do you agree with Vladimir Putin? Is he right that this should be a nationwide vote on what they should do moving forward with it? Or should it be something that's already baked into the system where if you're in love with someone, you're in love with someone and that's it, and you move forward and go from there? It's very confusing what some people think on that, on what they agree and disagree and approve and don't approve. Anyway, let's continue down the path here. 9 have now died across the country from the coronavirus. There are more than 100 cases confirmed in 15 states. Across the globe, 4 countries are battling the outbreak: South Korea, Italy, Iran, and Japan, while China remains the epicenter. But daily rate of infections is starting to go lower in that regard. Globally, there's more than 90,000 people that have been diagnosed. So as you can see, this continues to get crazier and crazier as we move forward. And we know how this is going to go. Now, I was having a conversation last week where somebody was telling me that we're probably going to get to the point where we're going to start having to work from home. And that we're probably going to have to move forward and be able to do work remotely. Now, I'm going to tell you, if I work at a car wash, or if I work at a McDonald's or a fast food place, or something that you have an assembly line or something that you're doing work in that particular format, I can't work from home. If I'm sick, I can't turn around and stay home. I need to make money. How's that going to work for me? What if the kind of work that I do is not conducive from working from home? And no, I'm not going to sit here and talk about, we need to have a global salary or anything to that extent. I don't want there to be confusion on what I'm trying to say here. But I'm just trying to figure out on how certain industries that won't be able to adjust. How that won't be able to move over. How is that going to be handled? So if you are a safety professional and you are taking a listen to the little show here, how does that work in your world? Are you able to work from home? Do you work inside of an organization that would allow you to do so? Does your organization do things where you can work from home? Or do you consistently have to be there? Now, I talk to some safety professionals that they tell me that they're the only safety person inside of the whole company.
Duh.
So that becomes a little bit difficult if you're the only one and then working from home. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot of looks that we're going to have to start taking at some of these things that are taking place. But it looks also at the same time that we have a very short period of time to look at and figure out what exactly we're going to do. Now, I'm not going to tell you one way or the other how to think. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other what you should do. But there is some good information out there in regards of what's going on in certain of the industries, and then there's some really bad, shitty information out there that you need to take a look at and kind of make a determination on what's going to work best for you. Just something to think about as we move forward here. Anyways, at least 3 are dead and dozens injured after a giant 100-vehicle pileup in Wyoming. Oh, yes, Wyoming occurred on Monday. The Highway Patrol said that the weather is believed to be the driving factor of this particular thing. Now, driving factor inside of a 100-vehicle crash, probably not great wording, but some jackass wrote that, so that's why I read it that way. But a 100-vehicle pileup. 100 vehicles. How does that happen? I mean, I'm not saying, everybody was driving too close, but that's kind of nuts. You have to look at it and go, okay, 100 vehicles on the highway. Now, how bad is the actual weather there? How bad does it end up going that, you have this kind of issue where, just based on what I've been able to find and see, it was pretty bad. And this is me just talking here. But you have to go through it and go, do you make a determination then at that particular point? Should you go out and drive? So anyways, I'm going to take the risk today and talk about stuff that occurred yesterday. Because yesterday was Super Tuesday. I did talk about it earlier in the week. So I wanted to make reference to it one more time. So let me just go through it. Bear with me as I talk about it. We're going to talk about politics and just outcomes, not personal beliefs, not me saying I'm a Republican, saying I'm a Democrat, saying I'm a liberal, saying whatever. Just giving you information. So tone it down.
Duh.
It's okay. Specifically if my father's listening, it's okay. Just reading some information here. Hot off the decisive win of the South Carolina Saturday night, Joe Biden swept the southern states and scored a decisive win in Massachusetts and Minnesota on Super Tuesday. Socialist Bernie Sanders, who owns 3 homes, one in California, Utah, Colorado, and his home state of Vermont. Late into the evening, both Maine and Texas were too close to call. And while Sanders was projected to win in California, it'll be a while before all votes are tallied and the state 415 delegates are appropriated. All signs point that Sanders is having the lead in the overall delegates once the dust settles, but the margin might not be formidable as it was even 72 hours ago. Notable, let me kind of reference this real quick, Elizabeth Warren, who by now is came in third in her home state of Massachusetts, getting just over 20% and running behind winner Biden, who didn't spend $1. Yeah, you heard me correctly. He didn't spend $1 in the state, but tend to actually be in first place. And then second place was Sanders. And people are saying that you should probably expect Warren to drop out soon. Now, this is according to what the news is saying. Then let me talk a little bit about billionaire Michael Bloomberg. Bloomberg, who had dropped some $500 million on his own money, which is a great thing. If you can afford to do that kind of thing, came away with a win in only one contest, American Samoa. Contrary to claims by people like Sanders, money doesn't buy an election. He believed that he would be huddling with advisors today in New York to reevaluate next steps. So, as I tell you this next part, I'm going to tell you about the states, but the next thing that I want to tell you is this. As the start of this broadcast, a news story has flashed on my screen, and Michael Bloomberg has suspended his presidential run. So he's out. This makes it down to 4, if I remember correctly. And for some reason, there's this other lady that's running, and I can never tend to remember her name. And I keep on seeing her, and a lot of news stations are not talking about her. So now I feel like a total jackass because I can't remember her name.
Duh.
Anyways, let's talk about the states on who won what. So let's go through it. Alabama, Biden. America Samoa, Bloomberg. California, Sanders. Colorado, Sanders. Maine, too close as the publication. Massachusetts, Biden. Minnesota, Biden. North Carolina, Biden. Oklahoma, Biden. Tennessee, Biden. Texas, too close at the time of the publication here. And then Utah, Sanders. Vermont, Sanders. Virginia, Biden. Next Tuesday will be an interesting day, too, because next Tuesday it's Idaho, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, and Washington State all go to the polls. So take a look at that. And then, of course, if you've been taking a look, the President of the United States has also been on Twitter talking about the primary from last night. So go ahead and take a look at that if you do get a chance. And that's entirely up to you to do whatever you want, of course.
Duh.
Rated R Safety Show.
Sarcastic?
Never.
No, I don't try to be sarcastic. Sorry about the political rant there for a moment, but definitely had to talk about it because it was stuff that was going on in the news. Anyways, no winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $90 million jackpot or $6.9 million cash payout. Good stuff there if you do get a chance. Anyways, if you are big into the talk shows that occur at night, tonight on Jimmy Kimmel, Eli Fanning, Dave Bird, and local natives. On Jimmy Fallon, Hillary Clinton, Noah Chapp, Jane Birkin, and Iggy Pop. On Stephen Colbert, Chris Hayes, and David Chang, Seth Meyers will have Susie Esmond and Glenn Sybil. And James Gord will have Usher, Judy Gear, and Javier Hernandez. So that's some options if you are staying up late tonight, where you can watch some of the actual different shows that are available talk show host-wise. And that's always fun if you want to do that kind of stuff. Anyways, let's talk about the days of the year that you can celebrate today, because they're important.
Duh.
Benjamin Harrison Day. Courageous Follower Day. Discover What Your Name Means Day. Holy Experiment Day. Hug a GI Day, not to be confused with Hug a Gee Day. I know some people are going to think that. So Hug a GI Day. International GMs Day. International Scrapbooking Industry Day. That one sounds a little desperate. Sorry, my opinion. Marching Music Day. National Dance the Waltz Day. National Grammar Day. March 4th Day. That's kind of funny. March 4th on March 4th. National Snack Day. National Sons Day. I wonder if I'm going to get a call from my parents. That'll be interesting. I probably won't. Just taking a stab at it. National Pound Cake Day. No, that's not a celebration of the Van Halen song. Toy Soldier Day. World Math Day. And Stop Bad Service Day. Well, crap, there's a lot of fast food joints that probably should go out of business if that's the case today. Anyways, if you are a listener of Metallica, their former bassist actually turns 57 today. Wonder if you feel old yet. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show. I know who you are. You know who I am. I'm going to stay in here a little bit longer, but I'm going to let the people from the radio station go. So if you want to hang out, you're more than welcome on doing so as we close this out of this episode of the Rated R Safety Show. Anyways, like I was saying, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Duh.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.